It seems there is no line the government won't cross, even as they assure us that we are just being paranoid right-wing fearmongers, while explicitly lying to us and committing the very violations of our rights they claim we are paranoid about losing. Now, of course, the government always give us a reason for taking our rights. They claim it is for our safety. What a wonderful thing. But I have to ask, is it really? Because I don't think the numbers are adding up here. Guns are used for a variety of things, such as self-defense, sport, and even feeding oneself, particularly in more rural and indigenous communities. Let's compare that to something only used for recreation like alcohol. If you look at the comparisons between guns and alcohol, they actually have a lot of similarities on a legislative level. Both of these items are safe when used right and dangerous when used wrong. Both afflict minorities to a greater degree. Both can be factors in fatal accidents. Both are factors in suicides, and both lobby governments, except government is literally a retailer of alcohol, so there's a bit of a bias there. Anyways, the point is there is a lot of crossover here, but where you find the biggest differences between these two items is in the harm they cause our society. Annual deaths from firearms in Canada is around 1,000, only 250 of those being homicides. Annual deaths caused by alcohol in Canada is around 7,000. So that was a study from 1999. Apparently today it is significantly worse, with approximately 15,000 preventable deaths being caused by alcohol and 90,000 preventable hospital admissions. As for being factors in violent crime, guns only account for 3% of cases. Yet alcohol is a factor in 20% of violent crimes. If the Canadian government truly wanted to reduce avoidable crime and deaths in Canada, they would start with banning alcohol. Unlike guns, it literally has no non-recreational use and is responsible for 7 times the deaths in our country and significantly more violent crime causation. So why won't the government ban it? Well, there's a few reasons, in my opinion. One, as mentioned earlier, both guns and alcohol lobby the government. But the government literally are the alcohol lobby. They are the liquor stores. They directly make profit off people drinking more. Second, politicians love alcohol. And so do the public. No one wants to ban alcohol because it is their hobby, even if it is statistically more dangerous for people to have than guns. The tragic truth of the matter is that people don't really care about reducing crime when it impacts something they view as a valuable right to themselves. They don't care that crime-deterring policies are impacting hunters because they are not hunters, though, so they can virtue signal all they want about how good they are for wanting to reduce that kind of crime because it's not impacting their hobby. But suddenly, if some crime deterrent policy were to affect their ability to get blackout drunk at the club on a Friday night, I think you'd see a whole lot of people up in arms about the Canadian government being a dictatorship. And this is the issue. We are such a divided populace that we don't realize all our rights matter. Because when the government have the ability to take away someone else's hobby or way of life using faulty reasoning, they can use that exact same faulty reasoning to take away yours one day. And let's see. If the threshold for losing one's rights is only 1,000 deaths a year in our country by criminals not following the already pre-existing laws around a certain activity and therefore punishing everyone else, there is a lot of rights we could find ourselves soon losing due to the actions of the criminal few. This logic could be used to ban cars, cigarettes, alcohol, even sugar, all of which cause more deaths than firearms annually in the first case. And I'm not saying that these are great things for the population, right? But we all know in moderation and when used correctly, all of these items can be beneficial to our lives and the human experience. A cigar with your dad once a year, a drive to the mountains, a cheesecake every once in a while, or a hunt in the woods with your grandfather. These are all things that are important to some people and make life richer when engaged with in a healthy manner. Those who fought to legalize weed in Canada had to spend years fighting back against an oppressive government who used the worst representations of marijuana and the worst statistics possible to prevent people from having that right. Canadian press reports showed in 2014 that nearly 9,000 Canadians were killed by cannabis use that year. Other studies claimed cannabis was causing lung cancer or various other types of cancer. Most of this data was found to be false later on, but the government and media kept using that to keep that right from Canadians. It really scares me to think that way too many of those very same people who were cheering on cannabis legalization and a more rational approach to the data by government and media are now fully accepting the exact same false data presentations and lies sold by the government to take away our right to firearms in this country. We must remain consistent as a population when defending our rights, or it will affect us all. I don't really care if your hobby is ganja or guns. It is the people versus the state, and they are on a perpetual march to take our rights. And in our division, they will continually win till we have nothing.